Hi, wine lovers. Welcome once again to another edition of Big on Wine. In fact, Big on Wine Live. Yes, the funkier version. And it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon where I am here in central Finland. 4 o'clock, of course, Central European time. 3 p.m. in the UK, and time to bring you yet another great wine of the week. It's been a bit of a grey, drizzly kind of day here in central Finland. Summer, I think, can only be just around the corner. I've got just the wine for you. It's a Grüner Veltliner from dear old Austria. But first and foremost, let's roll those intros. Hi guys, yes indeed, welcome to another edition of Big on Wine, the channel which, as you probably know by now, attempts to bring you news and clues and reviews. Indeed, we try to keep you up to speed about just about everything that's happening in the world of wine. And yes, we're back in one of my favorite wine producing countries, Austria. It's a great pity that I haven't managed to get there for a year and a half or so, but let's hope that situation remedies itself fairly soon. My wine of the week for this week is this one here. It goes under the name of Steininger Grüner Veltliner Kamptal, and the vintage is 2020. And this wine comes in for a price where I am of just under €13 a bottle. Let me fill you in on some of the details, the backstory to this particular wine. This wine comes from Austria, indeed from Lower Austria, or Niederösterreich, as the Austrians say. And officially, the wine is DAC Kamptal. And DAC, in case you didn't know, is the Latin. It stands for Districtus Austriae Controllatus. In other words, it's the Austrian equivalent of Appellation Contrôlée Kamptal. Okay. Geographically, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about an area which lies roughly, 70, 80 kilometers to the west of the capital, Vienna. And the big city in the area is, of course, Krems and Donau, Krems on the Danube. It's about an hour or so west or west-northwest of Vienna. Very pretty town, and of course it's absolutely surrounded by vineyards. The big river here is naturally the Danube, but our attention is focused, in fact, on the tributaries to the River Danube, and there are three of them, in fact, three smaller rivers in Krems, or in and around Krems, and they are the rivers Krems and the River Treisen and the River Kamp. And it's the latter of these, the River Kamp, which gives its name to the valley, the Kamptal, the valley of the Kamp, and of course to the wine producing area. Now, the big wine producers in the Kamptal are all based around a small town called Langenlois. It's a town of 7,000 or 8,000 people, and it's just 10 kilometers or so north or northeast of Krems itself. And some of Austria's finest white wines come from this area, indeed from northeast Austria in general, but particularly from the Krems area and the Kamptal. And Steininger is the producer of this wine. Steininger are one of the biggest players in this particular area of Austria. All right. Now, the Kamptal is a wine producing region which is very much based around two grape varieties, white wine varieties, the Riesling and the Grüner Veltliner. And this wine in question here is indeed a single variety wine, a Grüner Veltliner, and it's set up, I think, very much to be an uncomplicated wine for relaxed summer drinking, and that, I think, is reflected in the price. So under €13 a bottle where I am. Just a few words about Grüner Veltliner. Grüner Veltliner is a variety which is very, very widely planted in Austria. I think indeed roughly a third of all Austrian vineyards are planted with Grüner Veltliner, but it's also found very, very commonly in the area surrounding Austria. So particularly in Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and a little bit, I think, in Italy as well. Now, the aromas that we normally associate with the Grüner Veltliner are of white pepper. It has a distinct minerality normally, grows very successfully on loess soils. Some people have even picked up aromas such as celery in the Grüner Veltliner. It's normally produced in a dry, spicy, peppery style. All right, that's the backstory to this particular wine. The wine in question has 12.5% alcohol and 2 grams, just 2 grams of residual sugar. So we're talking here about a wine which is virtually bone dry, so very, very strictly in the dry category there. Let's take a look at the wine in the glass, and as we can see, I'll lift it as high as I can there. The wine in the glass is, well, it's relatively pale in color. It's almost like a kind of a platinum color in the glass, maybe even just slight touches of green in there, but very much I think we'd have to put that down as platinum rather than straw gold in color. All right, but fairly typical when we're dealing with a Grüner Veltliner. Let's take a sniff of the wine and see what we can get in terms of aromas. Here we go. Now this one is remarkably open. Grüner Veltliner when it's young, and of course this is a 2020 vintage, so produced in the autumn, in October probably, harvested this particular grape. Is the young Grüner Veltliners don't normally have a tremendously strong bouquet, but the nose on this one is remarkably fruity and open. So that's rather unusual for a Grüner Veltliner, but it has an open, fruity, how would I describe it? Those fruits are almost kind of mellow apple, pear, kind of aromas I'm getting here. It has almost a slightly flowery touch to it as well. It's very open, very, very accessible, this wine. Immediately kind of promises a positive reaction from the drinker here, I think. Very nice indeed. A little bit of pepper and spice, which is very much typical of Grüner Veltliner, also present here. So apple pear, mellow, flowery aroma on this wine. Almost slightly sweet, even though it has only 2 grams of residual sugar, and a lovely kind of peppery, spicy touch to it as well. Right, so far so good. Let's taste it and see what we can find. Here we go. Now in the palate, that is extremely pleasant. Can't really say anything worse than that. It really is very pleasant. It promises those fruity flavors, so the aromas carry over very clearly into flavors there. I mean, the flavor which I'm picking up immediately, of course, is the apple. Less of the pear, more of the apple in the mouth. Let's try it again. Yep, the fruit flavors, again, are very appealing. It's backed up by a nice minerality. It's not too heavy in terms of minerality. It's fruit forward, I think one would describe this as. But the acidity in this particular wine is also in a lovely balance with those fruit flavors. So it has a very kind of crisp, refreshing, clean effect in the mouth, which is very, very attractive. If I'm picking up any other fruit flavors in addition to the apple and that touch of pear, I think it would have to be something a little bit more exotic, a little bit more kind of sweetish, perhaps in the direction of peach. Let me just check once again. Yeah, less pear in the mouth, more apple and peach, I think, in this, but the overriding kind of dwelling flavor in the mouth is of that mellow fruit, balanced with a nice attack in terms of citrus flavors there, nice acidity, clean, refreshing, and crisp in the mouth there. Very nice indeed, perfect for summer. And of course, why not with a little bit of mineral water added to it, sparkling, the ideal wine for a spritzer drink, I think. All right, if we're thinking in terms of food pairings, where are we going with this? Well, I think white meat is probably the best choice if you're looking for a meat dish to accompany. So a chicken would be ideal. Pink-fleshed fish also would pair very, very nicely with this Grüner Veltliner. Austrians, naturally, in their own way, love a glass of Grüner Veltliner with their pork or veal schnitzel. I've yet to try it, but many people tell me that Vietnamese food is also an extremely good pairing with the Grüner Veltliner. And another little tip, which I can give you for those of you who maybe are vegetarian or cheese lovers, perhaps also. Pecorino cheese or mozzarella cheese, goat's cheese too, is an excellent match for our Grüner Veltliner here. All right, let's bring you the heads up on this one. This is Steininger Grüner Veltliner Kamptal 2020. It comes from a very, very highly rated wine producing region to the west of Vienna. It's a classic Austrian Grüner Veltliner with a wonderful dry style, good acidity, clean, crisp, citrus bite to it, backed up with a nice minerality, some pepper, and of course that apple and even peach in the mouth too. So an excellent wine for summer, coming in at a reasonably good price, under €13 a bottle where I am. Serving temperature for this wine is around the 8 to 10 degree mark. What am I going to give it in terms of stars? I'm going to give this particular wine 3.5 stars out of 5. Okay, wine lovers, that was Big on Wine Live for this week. A very nice Grüner Veltliner from Steininger, from Austria's Kamptal, just to the north of Krems. That was the wine of the week for this week. I'll be back again next week, of course, with another great wine of the week for you. But before you leave the platform, please do all those things that good viewers always do. Please like the video, share it around your heart's content, follow the channel, and of course, drop a comment down below if you feel that way inclined. I'll be back again next week. Until we meet again, stay safe and enjoy your wines. Bye for now.